Andy, can you hear me? Andy. 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 He has it turned down. Andy. He can't. He turned it down. Andy, are you going to turn it up? Okay. No? Okay. Okay, all right. Then walk away. Don't trip. Okay. Don't fall. Goodbye.
So are you giving me this wagon to use?
Andy, can you hear me? Andy. 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 He has it turned down. Andy. He can't. He turned it down. Andy, are you going to turn it up? Okay. No? Okay. Okay, all right. Then walk away. Don't trip. Okay. Don't fall. Goodbye.
So are you giving me this wagon to use?
Andy, can you hear me? Andy. 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 He has it turned down. Andy. He can't. He turned it down. Andy, are you going to turn it up? Okay. No? Okay. Okay, all right. Then walk away. Don't trip. Okay. Don't fall. Goodbye.
So are you giving me this wagon to use?
Andy, can you hear me? Andy. 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 He has it turned down. Andy.
1 2 1 2.
Can't. He turned it down. Andy, are you going to turn it up? Okay. Andy, can you hear me? Okay. Andy. Okay, all right. Then
Are you turning up your
Don't
speaker?
trip. Okay. Don't fall.
Check, check,
Goodbye.
check. Check, check, check.
Andy, can you hear me? Check, Andy. Check, check.
Oh, it's on now.
Andy.
You got it.
Andy. Andy. He has it turned down. Andy.
1 2 1 2.
Can't. He turned it down. Andy, are you
check,
going to
check.
turn it up? Okay. Andy,
No.
can you hear me? Okay.
Check.
Andy. Okay, all right. Then
Are
walk
you
away.
turning up your
Don't
speaker?
trip. Okay. Don't fall.
Check, check,
Goodbye.
check. Check, check, check.
Andy, can you hear me? Check, Andy. Check. Check.
Oh, it's on now.
Andy.
You got it.
Andy.
Fantastic. While he's talking, can you make sure that that's off while he's talking?
Andy. He has it turned down.
Check,
Andy.
check, check. 1 2 1 2.
Can't. He turned it down. Andy, are you
check,
going to
check.
turn it up? Okay. Andy, can you hear me?
Check,
Okay.
check, check, check.
Andy. Okay, all right. Then
Are you
walk
turning
away.
up your
Don't
speaker?
trip. Okay. Don't fall.
Check, check,
Goodbye.
check. Check, check, check.
Andy, can you hear me? Check, Andy. Check.
All right, welcome, folks,
Oh, it's on now.
Andy.
to episode 2 of the Coaches Show. It's a little later than we were expecting
And-
due to the hurricane, but hey, we're here. We hope everybody made it out okay, both in the restaurant and watching here on YouTube. So once again, thank you all for tuning in and showing up with your
hasn't turned
support. We got a lot of the Booster Club here today, as per
down.
usual. So,
Check,
Andy.
check, check.
and a lot of people that are going to be tuning in on YouTube as well. So thank you all for tuning in, and thank you for Queen Casino and 1717 Restaurant for hosting us once again.
2 1 2.
With me today, we've got quite a few guests. Big old slate for you, just to kind of fill in for the last
turned it
week that we had missed.
Andy,
We've
are
got
you
Coach
gonna
Eric
turn it up?
Thompson. He's going to lead us off
Andy,
here.
can you hear me?
And then we're going to
Check,
have
check,
Scott
check.
Andy?
Sherlock, Jake Cox, and Brad Richardson coming in as well to talk a little bit about last season, this upcoming year, and all that good stuff too.
Okay, all right.
So-
Are you turning up your speaker?
Glad to have you.
Good to be back. How we doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How was your trip in? You got in last night, so quick turnaround.
Check, check,
back.
check. Yep, a long drive yesterday, obviously, and then here we are now. So excited to be back.
Yeah. How was the summer for you?
Busy, I can say that. I'm sure everyone saw the transaction list. So
Yeah.
we've been pretty busy.
Good.
Check,
what,
check, check.
What were some
Andy,
of
can you hear
your
me?
plans? Obviously, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but you joined the Zydeco a little late last year. I believe in February it was.
Me?
What were your plans going into this
Check,
upcoming
check.
season, going into the summer months?
All
right, welcome, folks.
Obviously, we had a good
Andy.
year
To
last
episode
year,
2
so
of the Coaches Show.
building off of that
It's a
momentum,
little
trying
later than-
to working with Don, working with our booster club here, which has been great. Really trying to take what we had last year and go forward with it, and build that culture that the city deserves to have here of winning, and
Yeah.
putting that together here on the ice for us.
Yeah, and where we're at today, like you said, there have been a lot of
We were
expecting
And-
due to the hurricane, but hey, we're here. We hope everybody made it out okay, both in the restaurant and watching here on
I think it's
YouTube.
like
So,
anything. You
once
can
again, thank
look
you
at
all
it and be
for
happy
tuning
right
in
now,
and
but
showing
tomorrow
up
morning
with
I'll wake
your
up
He
and
has
with
a
your
turn.
support. We got a lot of the Booster Club here today, as
always
per
a work in
usual.
progress.
So,
Check,
Andy.
check, check.
and a lot of people that are going to be
It's just
tuning
one
in
of
on
those things,
YouTube as well. So,
unfortunately.
thank you
It
all
always
for
constantly has
tuning
to
in.
be getting better and better, and that's what ultimately that's what it's going to take to win here. So
Yeah, and training camp is right around the corner. Is that kind of the next thing on your bullet list?
training camp is very important here. It's kind of the what sets your whole tempo for the season, in my opinion. So we're very excited for that. We're getting very prepared for that as well here.
Yeah,
as
and
well.
you
So
so thank you
tone
all
last
for
year.
for
It's very
tuning in.
clear
Thank you
in
for
the
the record that you guys have. I mean, since you joined the team, it was a 9-13 record. Queen Casino and 1717 Restaurant for hosting us once again. The Zydeco had only 7 wins prior to you joining the
2
club.
1 2.
That's with me today, we've got quite a few guests. Big old slate for you.
got the right
Kinda
mindset.
fill in for the last week that we had missed. We've
Andy,
got
are you
Coach
gonna
Eric
turn it up?
Thompson. He's going to lead us off
Andy,
here.
can you hear me?
And then we're
I mean, it's the standard that you set. So I believe that the returning guys
Check,
have
check,
it is
Scott
now.
Sherlock,
It's something
Jake
that
Cox,
they can kind of show
and
by
Brad
example,
Richardson
so that when the guys
coming in
do arrive
as
here,
well to talk a little bit about
it's-
last
I think it's
season, this
contagious a little
upcoming
bit,
year,
in
and
my
all that
opinion. It
good
should
stuff.
be. If it's not, then I don't think you fit the mold, and that's ultimately we're looking for guys that fit that mold, that come in here, play.
Okay, all right.
So-
Are you turning up your speaker?
Glad to have you.
Be back. How we doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How was your trip in? You got in last night, so quick
Check,
turnaround.
check, check.
Back.
A long drive yesterday,
always
obviously,
loading
and
kind
then
of type of
here
thing.
we are. And we'll get there, and training camp's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and talk about training camp just a little bit. Just about what are you looking to get out of it? What is the purpose of training camp, just kind of on a broad spectrum?
It's going to be different.
I'm excited to be back.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go,
How was the
it's
summer
gonna be a little
for you?
different. We're going to have
Busy, I can say
around
that.
30 guys here competing for
I'm sure everyone saw the
19
transaction.
to 20
list, so,
spots.
Yeah, we've
So-
been pretty busy.
Good.
Check,
what,
check, check. There's a lot of
What were
competition.
some
Andy,
of
can you
your
hear me?
plans?
And that ultimately is what brings the best
Obviously,
out of everyone. So,
we'll talk about it a little bit later,
you don't
but you
wanna be in a
joined
spot where
the
there's
Zydeco a little late.
complacency or,
last year. I believe in
guys that
February
are
it
just
was.
there to
What were your
get
plans
through it,
going
We're
into?
looking for guys that are here to win a championship
Mhm.
and that and move on with their careers and get started. So it's exciting ultimately. I
This
think
Andy.
this
upcoming
time
season
of
going
year,
into the summer months.
everyone on paper has
All
a
right,
championship
welcome,
team,
folks.
so everyone's
Andy.
excited to
To
get started,
episode
but,
2 of the Coaches Show.
building off of that
It's a
puck
little
drops here, we're
later
working
than
with-
we have,
working
so
with
I think
Don,
it's,
working with
like I said,
our booster
it's
club
gotta-
here, which has been great.
Mm-hmm.
You have to constantly
really
trying
looking at
to take a little bit of an eye of, is this perfect? Is it because it's never going to be perfect. So it's just always has to be room for improvement.
Now, we are in a casino, so what is the
We
over-under
had
on
last year
back skates
and go
in
forward
training
with it,
camp?
and,
Where are we putting that at for right now?
We only have so much
Build
ice
that
here in the south, so we're not going to be doing so much of that. They'll be in shape, I promise you that.
Good.
We'll be a very highly conditioned team.
Yeah,
Good.
and where we're
Now,
at today,
you
like
are-
you said, pretty recently out of your own professional playing career. We were expecting
And-
to be due to the hurricane, but hey, we're here. We hope everybody made it out okay, both in the restaurant and watching here
It's
on.
awesome. You know, it's a great place for guys to come, and ultimately, it's
YouTube. So, once again, thank you all for tuning in
range of your career
and showing up with your
He
with
has
your
a turn.
support. We got a lot of the Booster Club here
It's
today,
just,
as
it's always
per
a
usual.
progress.
So,
Andy.
and a lot of
Lots
people that are going to be
stories.
tuning in
I
on
was able to
YouTube
get a couple call-ups once upon a time, and it's fun, you know, and it's what keeps
as
you going.
well. So thank
Other
you all
guys
for
just
tuning
they're
in.
playing for championships in this league. Some guys are looking for call-ups. Ultimately, what you make of it, in my opinion. So
and that's what
it's a lot of fun.
you know.
Though.
Ultimately, that
Highly recommend it to
gonna
anyone
take
that
to
can
win
do
here,
it.
so.
Yeah. And
you
training
only get
camp
to
is
do it
right
once
around
in
the
your life,
corner. Is
so
that
I
kind of the
believe
next?
it's, you know, it's a good experience.
Yeah. And thing on your transitioning from a player
Training camp
to a
is very
coach in that
important
quick
here.
of a
It's
time
kind
span.
of the
Were you? Was there any
what sets
struggle
your
with that
whole tempo for
transition?
the season, in my
Talking
opinion,
from my
so
personal
we're
experience,
very
I
excited for that.
was a college hockey player, and then I went and I started coaching right away. I had a little trouble kind of separating that just a little bit. Did you have any trouble with that at
Getting
all?
very
or-
prepared for that as well. You here. have,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
that
so thank you
off-season
all
is
for,
that
for
first
tuning
off-season
in.
clear.
And-
Am I going to play? Am I not? It's definitely like a whirlwind of an experience.
Yeah.
But once you
Or
kind of
that
make
you guys have. I
the
mean, since you
decision
joined the team, it was
to
a 9
coach, there's definitely that first year, I think, the first like 3 months.
Queen
is
Casino
the
and
time
1717
is where, you know,
restaurant
you're
is
supposed to
in the
get
world.
into
But
training camp shape. You're trying to like
Zydeco had only
got to get
7
make a team, where
wins.
then you're
prior
transitioning to being
you
on the
joining
other
that.
side.
With me today, we've got
looking
quite a
at it, and,
few
you know,
guests.
first
Big old
you're
slate
not-
for you.
If it's not for you, I think that kind of
fill in for the last week.
Looking at a roster sheet, and you know, I'm not really competing with these guys. I'm looking for the best competition, and that is definitely a
Miss.
different.
Andy, are you gonna
Jared
turn it up?
Thompson, he's going to lead us off
Andy,
here.
can you hear me?
Once you're trying to find that result, and you go through that, believe that, and you go through returning guys.
Have Scott
Andy?
Sherlock, Jake Cox, and Brad Richardson coming in as well.
Which I was able to do last year at the college level, and then come here in February, and even in that short span of time, watch some guys go from, you know, just incorporating some different structure to them. You know, everyone has the
We'll talk
structure
a little
that
bit
they
about
is,
last
especially at
season,
this
this
age, just a little
upcoming
bit
year, and
more
all
big
that
in
good stuff.
college. If it's not, then you know other coaches, you know, have molded something, and that's crafted something. That's how you know. Ultimately, we're finding you have to be able for guys that fit that mold that come in here.
Okay, all right.
So-
Are you turning up your speaker?
Glad to have you.
I think you back. How we doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How was your trip in? You got in last night. So quick turnaround.
Check. Yeah. You know, you learn stuff from different coaches. You, as a player, you know, you find stuff that you go, that's really good. Then you'll find stuff you go, not, and you know, then you build your own. Long drive yesterday, obviously.
Yeah,
it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's interesting, and we'll get there. Definitely an interesting side of things, but it's
Yeah. And talk about
also a
training
lot
camp
more
just a
that
little
does
bit,
go
just
into it
about
than I could have ever imagined. To
what
be
are you
honest,
looking to
which, you
get
know,
out of it? What is the
as a
purpose
player, you
of
know, you're kind
training
of naive
camp?
to
Just kind of
probably 85% of the reality of what's going on behind the scenes. So,
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I said, it's a lot of fun if it's for you.
Yeah. And if you notice that you're viewing the game in a bit of a different way from behind the bench compared to when you were playing?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
it's definitely a perspective shift. Everything's got to be for the team. When you're a
Yeah.
player,
How was the summer
you want to be as much as a team player as you can,
busy.
but ultimately
Around
around 30 guys here competing for
Right.
19, 20 spots.
Yeah.
Where, you know,
pretty busy.
Good.
check,
What,
check, check.
um,
A lot of
what
competition.
were some of
You know, so-and-so is not playing well, so-and-so is playing well.
Yeah.
We got to give so-and-so shifts. And that's just kind of, you know, as you get more comfortable doing that, those are definitely
Can you hear
hard
me?
conversations to
And
have.
that
But ultimately is what brings
ultimately,
it.
obviously,
When you
we'll talk about it a little bit later, but you joined the
you find that it's constructive. Like, you know, it's definitely you're going to have your bad decisions and your good decisions, and you just got to live with
So a
them.
little
Complacency.
late. Well,
or,
talking about
last year,
wins,
you know,
like
guys
we
that are
had
there to-
said, 9 wins since your hiring. What were your
Doubles
doubles going into
what we're looking for
Zydeco
guys
already
that are
had
here to win
prior
a
to then?
championship.
6 of them were in the
And,
last 8
you know,
games.
that and move on with their
What
careers
was
and get
the
started.
reason
So,
for that turnaround, in your opinion? What clicked?
you know, it's exciting.
team buy-in.
ultimately.
This
It's
Andy.
the
Check.
first time
Going
here,
into
you
the
know, we
summer.
didn't. Everyone on
We
paper
obviously
had
had
super
some
Alright,
awesome
welcome,
team,
folks,
so we had a good-
Andy.
everyone's excited to get
to
started.
episode
So
2 of the Coaches Show.
It's
It's a little later than
made it work. It wasn't
Yeah.
something that, is anything
got
that no one has traded before.
been
It's
great.
You can't constantly. You have to constantly
really
trying
looking
to
at
copy
it,
print. You know, unfortunately,
of
that's
an
what
eye
it really
of,
is this
Is this
perfect?
perfect?
You
Is
find
it-
stuff
because
from
it's never going to be perfect.
the
so it's
NHL that
just
trickles down, and then you go,
always has to be room for
can you
improvement.
implement this with what you have? And you know, you try it, and it comes down to there is some stuff that goes into the behind the scenes, like we talked about, like
Yeah.
the film work and a lot of the prep that goes into it. That I think that ultimately, if everyone can get on the same page, it makes it a lot easier. But I mean, they did, and that's what ultimately we won games because everyone got on the same page.
Sure. Awesome. We do have a microphone in the crowd. Ashley? Okay. All right, we'll work on it during the commercial break. But if anybody in the restaurant does have any questions, Ashley right here. Ashley, if you could wave your hand. She's got a microphone if anybody does have any questions. Everett, I know you had a couple words for the Booster Club as well before we go to any questions.
Oh, definitely. The work that's gone into this summer for the transition for year 2 for us is, you can't even put the words to thank how much you guys have put into the time and effort. So I just want to say from myself and everyone that's here and everyone that's going to be here, we're very thankful, and we're ultimately here to make you guys proud for what we're going to do here with the upcoming months. But we cannot thank you guys enough for what you guys have put into it, and I hope that you guys can see that your guys' hard work will pay off. So thank you guys so much again from the bottom of my heart, and from the guys, like I said, from Don and their whole front office and our staff and our players here. It doesn't go unnoticed at all, and we really appreciate you guys.
Love that. Yeah, we talked about it on the first show that there's a lot of work that goes into the Booster Club and what they've been putting out there, so your hard work does not go unnoticed. So looking forward to this season, what are your biggest keys to a successful season?
Start to training camp. That's kind of where we're going to build the momentum. Last year at this point. It was awesome how we ended. This year's a new year. It's a new – I talked to the players about this. We're kind of writing our own story here, and it's a new story. We get to start at chapter 1, day 1. I got to come in kind of late into the story last year, and we kind of got to write the ending. It ended pretty well. But this year, like I said, new story right off the hop, which is kind of cool in my opinion. So.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you for coming on. We're obviously going to see a lot more of Everett as the season goes on with the Coaches Show. We will be right back with another interview coming after this. We'll go to a commercial break, and we'll also fix whatever's going on with the audio here. So we'll be right back after this, folks.
Fall in love all over again with Shrek the Musical, an epic tale filled with hijinks, adventure, and